I'm glad to introduce my guest, who is already in contact with our studio, Professor of International Law from Estonia, Evgeny Tsibulenko. Good afternoon.
Good evening. Glory to Ukraine.
Hello. And first of all, I'd like to thank your country for its effort to help Ukraine. It means a lot. And further, I propose to discuss the issue of the European Union's participation in helping Ukraine in more detail, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, so let's start with this issue. What will the approval of the European Union program for financing Ukraine depend on in the coming years? What do you think?
Yeah, of course, main obstacle is position of certain countries. First of all, of Hungary. Maybe it will be Slovakia also. And it's indeed a big problem because, as we know, all decisions in European Union are taken by consensus. Respectively, any country can veto any decision. And it was happened already several times with Mr. Orban. And respectively, European Union need to find certain solutions. Of course, we should always keep in mind that European Union is not simply organization, it's first of all member states. And of course, member states can provide assistance on a bilateral basis, and it will not be related to any positions of any specific country, so it will depend only on the country which provides the assistance. And actually here it's very important to show the example, and yes, as you mentioned, Estonia indeed was one of the leaders of the assistance to Ukraine, both military and in general. And Estonia actually on the first place by the military assistance. If to calculate by the state GDP, it's more than 1%, or it's more than 1/3 of military budget of the country. So it's absolute record in that sense. And actually Estonia and Lithuania was also two first countries who provided Ukraine lethal weapons. It was also certain breakthrough because all other countries were pretty reluctant to do that, and actually it's happened even during the first stage of the war after the 2014, because we should also remember that in 2022 only new phase, which was full-scale invasion started, but the war itself started with occupation of Crimea and invasion on eastern Ukraine in 2014. So Estonia and Lithuania provided lethal weapons already before the full-scale invasion. So that's why the role of the countries within European Union is also very important, and we should not undervalue it. But if to talk about more general issues, of course, the problem of decision-making in European Union, it's a topical issue which is discussed already for many years, and there are different proposals that in specific areas, in particular in foreign relations, probably consensus principle should not be used anymore, but probably qualified majority should be used or something like that. But of course, to change the procedure, it will also take time, and it also will be not easy to agree among all member states. That's why it will take time, and we could not expect any solutions in nearest future as to that.
Yeah, so Mr. Tsibulenko, you've already mentioned that one of the biggest problems is the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. He's not alone among the leaders of the European Union countries in his efforts to prevent the allocation of aid to Ukraine. Not alone, but very consistent from the very beginning of the Russians' full-scale invasion of Ukraine. So how does the European Union assess the weight of his words? Is it a matter of bargaining?
In certain sense, yes, I believe it's bargaining because Hungary had a lot of different issues with European Union because it violates a lot of democratic principles. And as we know, the assistance of European Union to Hungary was frozen, but actually a few days ago it was finally unfrozen. Yeah, probably it's certain element of bargaining, but not only. I actually truly believe that Mr. Orban indeed have certain connections with Russia, and clearly Russia will reinforce itself, and in a few years it will start again. And now NATO countries also could be under attack. But we should clearly understand that Russia is not the only one totalitarian regime on our planet, and all authoritarian totalitarian regimes will very closely watch what will be the end of Russo-Ukrainian war. And if Russia will not be defeated, it will be green signal to do the same. And I'm pretty sure that next will be Taiwan, which will be attacked by communist China. And as we all know, Taiwan produces up to 90% of all world semiconductors, microchips. And respectively, if such attack will not lead to Third World War, which is really possible, it will lead at least for the collapse of world economy, which all developed countries will feel, because modern economy without semiconductors and microchips is simply impossible. We've seen it during COVID crisis. Then there were some problems with logistics, not even production, but simply logistic of these microchips, and some major producers of cars, for example, stopped their lines because it was impossible to produce cars without microchips, etc. But if Taiwan will be under attack, it will be full collapse of economy. And I think that politicians in Western countries started finally understand that. And it was even openly articulated that if Russia will not be defeated, it will be a clear example for all destructive forces. And actually, we can clearly see that these evil acts already clearly exist, because there is a clear connection between Russia, Iran, Hamas, Northern Korea. They support each other. They organize destabilization around the globe. So clearly, Hamas could not attack Israel by itself. It was always supported by Iran and by Russia as well. Even if through Iran, but if we will look deeper to the history, we'll see that a lot of Palestinian terrorists were supported and trained by Soviet Union, and even created by Soviet Union, some organizations, and respectively. This alliance of the Rouge countries, it's unfortunately sad reality, and they try to attack ruled by law democratic states and actually spread chaos across the globe, unfortunately. So it should be clearly addressed and stopped, and if it will not be done, our future will be very sad.
So thank you very
Absolutely.
much, Professor, for time and answering my question.